different here. You're missing the deal there. But anyway, good morning, noodlers. This is Paul Romero with the Sell a House Wholesale Real Estate Training number guessing 87. I think we're on. That's a guess because obviously, as you can see, I'm in the car on the road and I don't have my book with me. So because I'm out here doing noodler undercover work and looking to land our next deal here this morning. So anyway, it's a great deal and if we get these people on board with basically they have a choice right now. They can choose to do the easy thing or they can choose to do the right thing, and hopefully they'll choose to do the right thing, which is sell the house to us. It only makes sense. It creates a win-win-win situation for everybody involved, where the easy thing really doesn't. And some people really end up sucking eggs if they choose to go the easy thing. So hopefully I can point that out to them this morning. Hopefully they can understand that we're trying to offer the best option available to them here today. That what we are bringing to the table does create a win situation for everyone. I mean, it's a small win for everybody, opposed to big losses for everybody except for one party. So I mean, why would you not want to choose to give everybody a small win opposed to letting one person have a huge win and everybody else sucking eggs? I don't know. Good morning, John. What do you think?
What do I think? I think it's another awesome, beautiful new op day, even though it's raining here in Phoenix, which when you live in the desert and it rains, it's actually a nice thing. I think what Paul's talking about there is right. You would think that most people would have the common sense to say, hey, I want to do the right thing here, not allow this foreclosure type process to happen and ruin my credit and ruin the credit of all the other people involved, and let a property go when I can make a nice little chunk of change to put in my pocket, and in doing so allow an investor, a wholesale investor, to make a profit, and the investor who's going to be buying it from us make a profit and hire a crew to do the work. You'd think that doing the right thing would be the common sense.
The people who have the lien on the property to get something out of their efforts that they put in.
Well, everybody wins in this situation, but
Yeah.
a lot of people actually, you'll find in wholesale real estate, don't actually have a whole lot of common sense, which is why they abandon properties in the first place. It's funny, Paul and I had tracked down a homeless guy that he's really isn't homeless. He owns a home which is vacant, sitting, rotting in Phoenix, vacant, while he's off living in a homeless shelter. So you're not always dealing with people that make a whole lot of sense in this business.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know what to say to that. A lot of people don't have very much. I won't even use common sense, just sense, period. And so yeah, you're going to be dealing with all kinds of people in wholesale real estate, and that is why it's really important that you develop good communication skills, why you develop a pleasing personality, while you develop the skills to be able to read people and understand where they're coming from and determine what type of person they are, and be able to make decisions on the spot as far as to what sort of way am I going to present my information. Because if you have personality A and you're presenting your information in the way that it appeals to personality D, it's not going to make sense to this person. They're not going to appreciate what you're offering. So understanding the type of people that you're dealing with and being able to present your information in a way that is appealing to them, that's gonna sink into these brain cells and make sense in their head as to what it is that you're offering here. That's a pretty key thing, and that's part of what we offer here with the property noodlers is educational information and training on how to develop some of these skills, how to become better at reading people, how to present your material in a good way, how to be able to think on the spot. And you know what? Unfortunately, this is something that doesn't happen overnight. I mean, we've got guys that are on our team right now that we tell them we've been showing them over and over and over again. This is all you have to do. You just have to do this one little piece right here. Do nothing else. Start with A, end with B. All right. We're going to pick it up at C and take it from there. That's all you got to do. This one little piece. And they want to keep trying to do all this, and they keep screwing up deals. They wonder why they're not getting any deals. They're screwing them up because they're trying to do more than they know how to do. And so it's kind of a shame. And it's kind of a shame for us too, because we're losing these deals because they're messing them up. They're turning these people off. But we got a few ways to get around that too. So I'm not going to let you in on those secrets. But yeah, no, we got if they screw it up, hey, the deal's not dead. Maybe it kind of is dead for them, but that's just kind of how it goes. But yeah, so this is a key thing in wholesaling, and this is like the biggest key element that all the programs leave out of the package, the sit in your underwear and make real estate deals from the couch while you're eating Cheetos program, is because you know what? At some point in time, even if you're sitting on the couch eating Cheetos in your underwear, you're going to have to talk to somebody. Period. End of conversation. If you're going to get a deal, it's not likely going to come completely 100% over the internet. You got to pick up that phone and talk to somebody. And so if you don't have a way to talk to them, if you don't have the skills to talk to them, if you don't know what to say to them, guess what? You ain't getting a deal. And you wasted all that money sitting there and all that time sitting there on the couch trying to work on these deals, and now they're coming in and you don't know what to do with them. That's what the Property Maneuver program is all about, is teaching the skills and the knowledge and the ability, what it takes up front to land deals. That's what's missing out of most of the other stuff, is what does it take for you to get out there and land deals.
Exactly. I just want to pick up where Paul left off there, that is exactly the most important element, is the human factor within dealing with in wholesale real estate. What are we actually doing? Think about it. We're going out there to find motivated sellers to agree to sell us the property at a discount so that we can turn around and then sell that property to another cash investor without having to close and purchase on it ourselves. And in order to negotiate a deal, the one key element that's left out of most other programs is the fact that you're going to have to know how to negotiate people. In fact, there should be a program just about negotiating people. Maybe there is one such program available to you right now if you just simply email somebody. But
well, the thing is, hey, John, let me ask you a question. I know I never have. Have you ever bought a single property, negotiated and gotten a contract to purchase a single property in your entire lifetime without ever having to talk to somebody, by doing it all through email, fax, or whatever, without ever actually having to speak directly with words coming out of your mouth, not off your fingertips? Have you ever gotten a single deal that way?
Besides HUD, which is an automated system for buying properties from the government, no.
Exactly. Well, there you go. Okay, you want to get into the HUD program and you want to battle that sticky mess. It was good for a while, but they changed all their parameters, and I don't know. There might be something there a little bit nowadays again, but for last year it was poo-poo for sure. They took away the ability, and I'm guessing that it's still. I haven't looked at it in a while, but I'm guessing that it's still. You got to realize you're dealing with the banks and the government when you come to HUD, and you don't think they've got people sitting in the back room running numbers and figuring all this stuff out, that we can sell these properties at this amount of money, and somebody can go in there and they can make a little bit of money, but they pretty much cut out the gap for a wholesale flip. You can't buy HUDs at a price that you can turn around and make a spread on them, unless you're looking at making $1,000 or $2,000 on your spread. You got to do a whole lot of HUDs to make any money that way. So if that's what you want to do, if you don't want to talk to people, that's a great program. The HUD program is a great program, and send us an email and we can shoot you the name of a guy who's got a fantastic HUD program, teach you a lot of stuff on how to do it. And you, like I said, better do a lot of them though, because you're not going to make any major profit margins. Go ahead, John.
Right. So kind of to lead back to where we are left off on Friday, and I think what you're gathering from today's discussion so far is that you're going to have to talk to sellers. You're going to have to talk to people, and you're going to have to learn how to get some negotiation skills. That's the bottom line. And you know why I think a lot of products or educational products leave out that is because that scares away most people. So I understand that in order to sell educational tools and products, you want to attract the largest amount of people to your product or service as you can. One way to do that is to leave out the details that will scare 95% of the people away, which is why I believe most of the real estate programs leave out the part about negotiating sellers, and they focus mainly on the real estate aspect of the business, which, yes, it's important, but as Paul and I have said from day one of these Hangouts, if you've been joining or you're just stumbling into them, is that the two biggest secrets of wholesale real estate is, number one, it's not about real estate, and number two, it's about sales and marketing. Most people are scared of sales and marketing. 95% of the people out there do not ever consider themselves to be in sales or want to get involved in sales. So that's what our program's about. I guess we've kind of filtered out 95% of our potential buying public, or cut out 95% of the people that would actually want to work with us because, like, oh gosh, I'm going to have to talk to sellers and learn negotiation and sales and marketing skills. And there's a reason why we point this out from the beginning, is because we don't want to bring anyone into our program or onto our team under false pretenses that this is going to be easy and you're going to be able to flip real estate in your underwear. Because Paul and I take a direct approach, and we really only want to work with people who are willing to work with people and open their mouths and aren't afraid of getting out of their comfort zone, and looking for people who aren't afraid to learn the necessary skills it takes to be successful in this business, which is how to sell and how to market. And the reason for that is we only want to work with people because we're directly training people. So we want to only spend our time with people that are going to be willing to do what we do every day, and that's make deals happen. Plus, you know what? You want to be, most people, why are you here? You want wealth, you want money, you want financial freedom. That's all great. But I truly believe that this day and age, especially with the internet and YouTube and social media, your ability to interact and engage the clients, and your ability to interact and engage your customer base in general, and understanding how to market and sell to people, I think is one of the most important skills a person can have if they want financial freedom in this world. Would you agree, Paul?
Absolutely, 100%. That is what I never had for a lot of years, okay? And I'll tell you what, the longer you wait, the older you get, the harder it is to pick up those skills if you don't have them. I was always working in the restaurant business, mostly in the behind the scenes, somewhat in the kitchen, or as a busboy when I was really young, which that was a great job. That was a lot of interaction with people. I loved that job, actually. We always wanted to be a waiter, but I didn't have the communication skills. I didn't have the personality. I didn't have any of that stuff to actually. I didn't have the balls to walk up to somebody's table and, hey, I'm Paul. How you doing this evening? I'm going to be your server. What can I do for you tonight? Can I get you anything right now to start with? Well, I didn't have that in me, and that's something that I never developed over a lot of years. And I'll tell you where did it get me? It led me into a construction job where I knew the same five people every day, working together on different jobs with the same five people in and out every day. I didn't have to know anybody else. It was a very safe little comfort zone that I was in, not having to know or talk to other people. And the next thing you know what I found out? You know what I woke up and realized one day? I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have anybody that I could hang out with except for these five jerks that I worked with. They're not jerks. They're pretty cool people, but I mean, that was it. I was going nowhere. I had dug myself deep into a tunnel, and and I couldn't even see the light of day at the other end. And I said, you know what? There's something out there, and I'm going to go see what the heck it is. And what I learned, and what it is, and what we try to teach here that help you guys get out, find your way out of the rabbit hole is that you need to open this thing right here, the mouth. You got to open the mouth and have words coming out of it, and you have to be able to combine these words with thoughts that come out of here so that they make coherent sense to people. I'll tell you what, when you've been out of the communication game for a long time, it's not easy for you to become a conversationalist. You might think right now you might be a person who, everybody tells you never shut up. All you do is talk, right? But I guarantee you, there's probably a whole lot of gibberish that doesn't make any sense and nobody even freaking wants to hear half the time coming out of your mouth. All right, because your brain isn't working. There's just words coming out. They make no sense. They're irrelevant. They're worthless words because you're not thinking. You're just blabbing. You know. So to be able to combine the thought process with the words that come out of your mouth, that's what this is all about. That's what communication is all about. So we're running out of time here. Obviously, we kind of got a little off track today from the from the success program that we've been working on for the past week, as far as working from what it is that you want to be 3 years from now back to who you are now and what you need to start with tomorrow. I think I kind of brought this up today because one of obviously what I'm doing out here right now, waiting to go talk to these people and catch them before they go to work, et cetera, and so on today because it's an important thing. But I think part of the reason why we brought this up today is because this really needs to be, if you're going to have a success plan for the future, communication skills and building and learning and growing and educating yourself, not only just in communication skills but in other areas about things that you don't have no idea about right now. You might think you know, but you don't know what you don't know, and there's a whole lot out there that you have no clue about. So including some of that stuff into your plan, now that we're getting down to we're at the 90-day mark, right? And we're heading down to the 60-day now, John?
Correct.
Yeah, so as we're starting to now sort of refine things down, these, this is an area where you're going to be thinking about some of the things that you need to be doing in the immediate area and educating yourself and picking up and learning new skills is going to be part of that. Because if you're planning on growing and becoming a different person and building something in your future, you're going to have to start making some changes because you can't continue to do the same thing you've always done and expect to get a different result. Otherwise, you're legally certified crazy person. So, so I mean, if you want things in your life to change, you're going to have to change things in your life. And like I said, educating yourself, gathering new knowledge, thinking about things in a different way, all part of the process of building where you need to go forward, along with doing, some serious physical action steps of, getting out there and, I got to go and I have to, make this piece of the puzzle happen today. You're going to have all that stuff, but the education part is huge. And that's why I kind of brought this up today, why we kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent, is I want you guys to think about this going forward when we start narrowing down from the 90-day into your focus, when we get down into your focus, that you're definitely including some of these things, that you're thinking about these things, and and you learn and you understand right now that without these things, you can go out there and do all the actions you want, but you're probably not going to be doing them the right way, and they're not going to be producing the results that you want. They might produce some results, but not the big, huge results that you want unless you yourself become a bigger person, a better person, a stronger person, a smarter person, a more communicatable person, and all those types of things. So part of the plan. I just wanted to make sure we got this out there today before we move forward in going down on our focus, John. So I'm going to throw it back to you to kind of maybe if you want to talk about the plan a little bit and where we're going and where we've been and all that and take us out of here.
Okay, well, thanks, Paul. I want to kind of point out the same thing that Paul just said right there is, yes, we've got a little off, well, not really off subject, but we didn't get back into putting together the success. We didn't put together a sex plan too.
No, we're not shooting porn here, people. This is not sex tapes.
This isn't a sex plan. We're putting together a success plan. Geez, I'm sorry.
Well, you know
A
what?
little
Hey,
tongue tied this
you can
morning.
put together a success plan for getting sex too. I mean, you can put together a success plan for anything, you know. So what the heck? I mean, if that's what you want your plan for, go ahead.
You know what? I love doing these hangouts, especially, coming on here and talking to people to have another person to bounce off of. Because, man, if I was by myself this morning, because my brain is in this awful fog right now, and I didn't have Paul to kind of keep things online here, this would have been a very ugly hangout, I think. Anyways, in building your success plan, which can include a plan for being successful in sex as well, the reason we got off the action steps of how to put together the plan where we left off Friday is like Paul said. There's some things that we need to think about and have an awareness of moving forward and building this plan. And as we say all the time, it's you don't know what you don't know. So you need to become aware. It all starts with awareness and becoming aware. So in building your business plan, there's certain things you're going to want to consider when you envision yourself in the future. And it's gonna, you're gonna have this grand vision for where you want to be in 3 to 5 years. That's the whole point of what we're doing here, which you're gonna work backwards to the daily action steps, all the way from 3 years, refined to the 1 year vision, refined to 90-day vision, 60-day vision, 30-day plan of action, and then we're gonna literally build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so forth and so on to 30, to where we actually have a 5-year plan where the first 30 days of the 5 years or 3 years is literally mapped out. And then every 30 days, you're going to be in the habit of remapping out the next sequence of 30 days. And you know what? If you do this, there's no way you couldn't be successful. But before you go ahead and put a plan together like this, there's some things you need to be aware of, which is kind of where me and Paul took this hangout today, is that you're going to need certain skills in order to make real money and become real successful. And I wanted to point out today that, if you're choosing wholesale real estate as your vehicle, as your tool for what's going to get you there to the promised land, which is financial freedom, you're going to have to realize that it's more about sales and marketing than it has to do with the actual real estate. But that goes for any business that you're going to be in. That even goes in the business of being a father. That goes into the business of being a teacher or a friend. We all have ideas and we all have thoughts that we share with people on a daily basis. And getting people to share our vision or listen to us, we're all doing an element of sales in everything that we do. Whether you're a father and you're telling your child to go to bed, you're selling that child on going to bed that night. And there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And it's the same thing here, where you're going to be negotiating with sellers to make the big profits. You have to learn how to talk to people. And that's one of the things that should be in your vision plan for the future, is if you really desire balance in your life and you really want to have a successful life, that's going to require, and it's going to require finances, physical health, mental health, spiritual health. And one of the only ways, in my opinion, you can really have financial, spiritual, and mental well-being is by your ability to create relationships, by your ability to relate to people. But more importantly, if you want success in your life, you've got to be willing to get out of your comfort zone. And that's what today's hangout was about, giving you ideas of things that need to be put into the business plan. And just to reiterate what the homework was on Friday, was that by now, in the last half a dozen hangouts that we've done leading up to today, we've actually walked you through the different steps, beginning steps of putting this whole business plan together, starting with the idea of just getting in the habit of writing down and setting goals and using a system for setting goals. You want to set SMART goals, something that specific goals that are measurable, attainable, realistic, on a time frame. And then you want to reach out and look 3 to 5 years into the future and develop a vision for yourself. Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? And write that down in a first person as if you are already achieved the vision. Then you're going to do this and break down the 3 year down to the 1 year. Then you're going to break down more specifically what you're going to do over the course of 90 days. Everybody should have done that by now. And today I'm just going to leave you off with the idea that now that you've got your 3 year vision, your 1 year broken down to your 1 year vision, broken down to where I envision myself getting in the next 90 days, so I'm on track to be where I want to be by the end of this year. Now you want to envision, all right, where am I going to be in 60 days? And that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to come back on Wednesday where we're going to get right back into the plan with no distractions. And I just want to toss it back to Paul, see if he has any final thoughts before we close out with the Napoleon Hill prayer.
I just want to say the other reason why we threw this in today is because I know a lot of you didn't do your homework. And now that you're here, you've been reminded about what the heck's going on, what you're supposed to be doing out there. Maybe you're a little excited about this success plan again. Maybe tonight you'll actually, between tonight and tomorrow, you'll actually do your homework. You'll actually be caught up to speed. You'll actually have broken down your 3 to 5 year, to a 3 year, to a 1 year, and to a 90-day, where this is, like we talked about, the building phase, where you're kind of putting together all of these. You're starting with the one idea way out there, and you're breaking it down into all these things that play a role in you getting there. Because we're flipping the script now, we're turning that around to where now we're building it down into the focused, what you need to be doing next kind of steps. What do I need to be doing tomorrow that's going to get me to my goal in 3 to 5 years? So that's why another reason why we threw this out here today, kind of buy you a little more time for you slackers out there to get off the stick there and make this happen. Put your success plan together, build it down to 90 days out, and get ready to start honing in on what you need to start doing tomorrow. So I just wanted to throw out that that's why we did this. We're buying you a little extra time because we can only inspire you on these hangouts. You got to motivate yourself out there. Okay, we're not motivators. We're inspirational guys. All right, we're giving you inspiration to see something for your future, to build something for your future. If you want to actually have it, you got to motivate your own butt and get out there and do it. So part of that is to get out there and motivate yourself to create this plan. So there you go. That's all I got to say. John, why don't you finish this up?